Blog Talk Radio.
Out at foggy midfield, muddy midfield, although they've done a heck of a job getting the field ready, they just tossed the coin to start the proceeding.
Silverback looking left, looking in. He's going to go long down the left side. There he is. And it is called 35, 30, 25, 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown, Jason Cruz. Coast to coast.
Welcome to the Nothing But Sports Show on NBS Central Radio, hosted by Jay Franchise, Yvonne Maddock, and True X the Sports Junkie, where they give the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
So help us God.
What's good, baby? Welcome to the Nothing But Sports Show on NBS Central Radio. Of course, I'm your host, True X the Sports Junkie, Mr. Come Through in the Clutch. Kill didn't think I was going to make it, but here I am, baby. Woo-hoo! Of course, I got the homie in the building, Kill. What up, baby?
Yeah, man, I thought it was going to be, it just might be a solo show, but, I appreciate it, though. Always can count on you, though. So, shout out to everybody that tuned in and supports the show. We got a lot of NFL to talk about, especially college football also, and I'm ready, man. But in a bit, really soon, Yvonne should be joining with us also. So we got a lot to talk about, like I said.
No doubt. Well, first, before we get the first shot, show started. I want to give a huge shout out because the reason why I just got on the phone when Kill was texting me, I give a huge shout out to my LRCA Tigers, baby, 3-0. We just beat Iberville Charter, 20-0. It's a 3-0 season. We're going up against Lake Charles Charter Academy next week in an undefeated matchup of charter schools. So next week's going to be live. Man, I'm so crump. But shout out to my Tigers again, man. 3-0, 20-0 victory tonight. Super amped for that. But let's get this show popping, baby.
All right, man. Congratulations to your Tigers, and the best of luck to them next week against a huge matchup in Lake Charles.
No doubt. Let's get this show started, man.
All right, let's go to our first topic. We normally kick things off with college football, so there wasn't any big matchups this past week, but we had some interesting games. So let's start off with our winners and losers this past week from college football.
All right. So, my winner has to be Arizona State. Now, listen, at the end of the day, I know last week I said the Pac-12, they're not going to be in the playoff race as far as a team coming out of that conference to actually be in the Final Four. But I actually picked against them last week because I felt like they let Sacramento State bang with them in a game the week prior. And then this week they got Michigan State in East Lansing. I thought for sure they were going to lose that game because the way Michigan State played last week, I felt like, it was going to be all bad. But kudos to Arizona State, man. Arizona State came in. They did their thing. They were in crucial situations. They came through for the dub. I can't be mad at them. They had a 3-0 lead for majority of the game. Got to the fourth quarter. Michigan State took a 7-3 lead, and then Arizona State 4th and 13. It didn't matter. My man Dayton Daniels, a true freshman, got the first down at 4th and 13, and then, well, you know what happens at the end. They score a touchdown to go up on Michigan State. And then I will say this, Michigan State kind of beat themselves in a sense. They came back down and then kicked a field goal to tie the game to overtime, but lo and behold, 12 men on the field. That was tough. But shout out to Arizona State. They're my biggest winner of the week. You want me to give my loser too, or you want to just say the winner, and I'll come back to my loser after you go?
I'll do my winners, and we'll go back to the losers. All right, so my winners for this week, and it was tough, but I'm going with Central Florida for my winners. Central Florida, they ranked 16th. They've responded some huge tests as of late, man. Going against a team like Stanford, they dropped 38 points on them by halftime. This is the most Stanford allowed since 2005, and they cruised by, man, 45 to 27 in the huge win. And freshman quarterback, man, Dylan Gabriel. True mentioned the freshman quarterback from Arizona State, but this dude throwing over 300, 4 touchdowns in his second start. Stanford struggled in this game, but the Knights, man, they're moving up. They've been moving up the past 2 weeks in these polls, and they look really impressive so far, man. And Central Florida is a dark horse team to look out for. I like what they're doing down there, man. And Central Florida, I think they're going to get a lot of teams' attention moving forward. And I think this is one of the teams where people's going to start, judging this team moving forward throughout the season. Because you look at Central Florida's schedule, man. They have a chance to go undefeated, dude. Because they got Pittsburgh, Connecticut, Cincinnati, East Carolina, Temple, Houston, and Tulsa, Tulane, and South Florida. I mean, there's some tricky teams remaining in their schedule, but I like Central Florida possibly a chance being undefeated. I think if they're gonna get a real shot to get in these huge bowl games, they're gonna have to win these games convincingly. But I definitely got Central Florida as my winners, and they definitely pulled it off with a freshman quarterback. So shout out to Central Florida.
Okay. Well, my biggest loser, and unfortunately, it's in the Pac-12 again. And Gio, don't be mad at me, but I'm talking about this U.S.
I know where you're going.
I say that to say this. They were a team that was, people didn't know what to think about USC. They opened up against Fresno State. They got the dub. They was up big. They kind of let Fresno State back in it a little bit. Cool, but they got the dub. They lost J.T. Daniels for the rest of the year, and my man Keaton Slovis came in. And I'm saying to myself, man, there's no way I'm about to pick this dude in USC versus Stanford, because there's no way. I think everybody on this show and everybody on the MBS team picked Stanford to win that game. And what did USC come in and do? They came in and flexed their muscles. They didn't just beat Stanford. They beat Stanford down. I want to say by 20-some points. I don't remember the exact score, but I want to say it was 20-some points. And then they get BYU. I'm thinking to myself, they're ranked. USC's ranked. They're undefeated. They just beat one of their arch nemesis in Stanford. USC might be back. They get Brigham Young University and they lose. To me, USC, they're just not there yet. They're maybe a couple of years away. I think they're a new coach away. They need a new coach. That's just what I feel. No shade, no shots fired towards nobody. It's just about what I feel. So for me, yeah, USC, the Pac-12 takes another hit with another team losing. And shoot, they get Utah this week. If they were to upset Utah, the Pac-12 gets hurt even more. So I just think the Pac-12, man, as a whole, is just hurting themselves. Now, if Utah's supposed to win this game, Arizona State can keep winning, then the Pac-12 might be on to something. But I just don't know if they're going to keep that up. So I'm going to say as of now, the Pac-12, even though I said Arizona State was my winner, the Pac-12 is a loser because of the USC loss, because the Trojans I thought was going to be back, but they're not. And they lost to Brigham Young, so USC is is my biggest loser.
Oh, okay. I did have USC as my losers, but I remember last week you had the Pac-12 as losers. So this week, I'm going to do something similar to that. But it's not going to be the Pac-12 as my losers. I'm giving it...
You good, I'm sorry.
But, are you there?
Yeah, I was just somebody asked me a question, but I'm good.
Okay. All right. As a matter of fact, before I give my loser, we got Mr. Box Office in the building right now, man. What's going on?
Woohoo! Mr. Box Office is back. I'm ready for the show. I'm excited for the show. What a weekend in sports, and let's get it started.
What a week for you in fantasy football.
Oh my God! Yeah, and I am 3-0 in fantasy, or 2-0, about to be 3-0. Corey's team is some trash. Keo, you're 1-1. Sorry about the loss, but you're still better than True X. I don't know what his team is doing. His team can't even crack 100 points. Oh my goodness! So let's go, Croatian Dream Team. Woohoo!
Okay. So before I'm not gonna let him disrespect my team. And I was waiting for you to laugh, because my team outdoing your team. So shut down. You know what else?
It's all about the winning column, baby.
You right. I cut up to last week, so don't be disrespectful. Watch your mouth, Yvonne. Hey, Yvonne, I'm coming. You know I'm coming, right? You saw what Odell Beckham.
No, I know. After watching Baker Mayfield and company last night, I honestly was not impressed. They looked bad. Like, that offensive line is bad. The play calling is awful, because I don't know what you guys think of their play calling, but they're trying to hit the home run play every play. And I'm just like, dude, establish the run, do a couple dump offs, and then go from there. I think that they're just trying to get everybody involved so quick when it should happen naturally. And I said this on the show when we were doing our predictions. I did not like the Browns that much, because sometimes too many targets, too many mouths to feed is not good, because you find yourself forcing it. I like the way the Chiefs offense flows, because I feel like it's natural. 1 week it's Tyreek Hill, next week it's Sammy Watkins, the next week it's Travis Kelce. I don't like the Browns offense. I'm not impressed with what I saw last night. Maybe one big play by Odell, and that's it. And it was the Jets. So I really am not impressed. And we're going to find out, because the Browns' next 5 games are all against undefeated teams currently, including the Rams this week. So they gotta. You better hope they're coming, because I don't see it yet.
We'll talk more about them when the NFL segment comes on. But let's get to this college football like y'all was on.
All right, Yvonne. So before you just came on, we were doing our winners and losers. We haven't I haven't announced my losers yet, but for your winners, who you have for your winners this past week in college football?
Okay, I'm just going to do one winner and one loser. To me, the biggest winner is not just because they won this week. It's just this guy is becoming incredible as an offensive coach, and that guy, to me, is Lincoln Riley. Lincoln Riley, as an offensive coach, is tremendous. I thought that he'd pick off nicely off of Bob Stoops, but he's done things at Oklahoma so far that I don't think anybody expected in terms of an offensive standpoint to be this good. I thought Jalen fit, but not this good. I thought, it'll take some time. I thought he would struggle a little bit. Obviously, they haven't played a big opponent yet, but UCLA is a big name. Houston is solid. And, dude, Jalen Hurts is off to a better start than Kyler Murray and Baker Mayfield were at Oklahoma. He fits great in this offense, and it's really surprised me, and I think Lincoln Riley deserves a lot of credit. Jalen Hurts does not look the same player like he did at Alabama. Like, if you showed me his highlights at Alabama and at Oklahoma, it's two complete different guys. I've never seen something like this. So my winner is Lincoln Riley because he's just an offensive coach, and I don't think he gets enough credit. The reason Oklahoma hasn't won national title game yet is because of their defense. Their defense lets them down, but their offense shows up and they ball out.
Yeah, I mean, I just want to say this, man. As far as what he said, I agree with that because I didn't think I was going to see this Jalen Hurts neither. And man, offensively, I grew up not even liking Oklahoma because I thought they were whack on offense. Even though they put up big numbers, I just felt like they were just, like, better than everybody else around them. But this team, they line it up, and I think it's more about, like, schematic, like the way Lincoln Riley gets his receivers open. I like it, bro. I ain't gonna lie. I'm not a big Oklahoma guy, but the way Lincoln Riley's coaching over there, man, you gotta respect the offense, but it's crazy how he gets his guys in space and his guys in the best position to win.
Yeah, I just want to add on to that before Yvonne announces his losers. If things go the way it should be, and Jalen Hurts ends up winning a Heisman once again, Jalen Hurts winning a Heisman for Oklahoma once again, I wouldn't be surprised if Lincoln Riley gets some considerations from the NFL for a head coaching job.
I can see it. I can definitely see it, bro. Definitely. Right, if Cliff Kingsbury got a head coaching job, come on, man. He wasn't even winning like that.
Yep. Yeah, all right, Yvonne. Who are your losers for this past week in college football?
Okay, like I said, I'm just going to do one loser, and to me, the loser is UCLA. It's the team Oklahoma beat. UCLA is down, and they look bad. We thought it was a bad first year for Chip Kelly at UCLA, and there's no problem with the first year. But this second year looks just as bad. They don't look any bit better. They're 0-3. They lost to Cincinnati. They lost San Diego State. They've now lost to Oklahoma as everybody expected. They've got Mike Leach and company next week on the road. That's not a good sign. They got Arizona the week after. I think, honestly, that's another loss. Arizona is 2-1. They're very solid. Their schedule doesn't get much better. They have Stanford on the road. Stanford is down right now, but I still think they're better than UCLA. Arizona State, who looked good this weekend, is on their schedule. Colorado, Utah, USC, and then eventually Cal, who's now ranked. Chip Kelly and UCLA might not win 4 games. They're bad. They're terrible, and obviously they better turn it around soon, or Chip Kelly actually might be out of there, depending on how much patience they have. But it looks really bad at UCLA right now, and I know Florida State, Nebraska, and Miami, they're all down as well, but at least they've all won a game. UCLA hasn't won a single game, and it hasn't looked pretty whatsoever.
Okay. All right. So before Yvonne came on, I was going to mention my losers. So I'm gonna copy a page off of True, and last week he mentioned his losers were the Pac-12. So my losers for this past week is the ACC. Besides Clemson, man, Boston College, they gave Kansas their first road win against a top opponent since 2008. You look at Boston College, they allowed over 500 yards total of offense, and it was the first time in I think the last 5 years that actually happened. You look at Pittsburgh; they lost 17-10. North Carolina State, they lost 44-27 to West Virginia, and Virginia Tech, they were down against Furman 14-3 at halftime. Georgia Tech, they lost 27-24 in overtime against against Citadel, and it's a good thing, man. The ACC still has Clemson there because Clemson is the only team that's actually doing something, and I didn't even forget about North Carolina also. North Carolina, they had a crushing loss also, so but they did play against a conference opponent, Wake Forest, so I wouldn't really count that. So it was a bad week for the ACC, and I got them as my losers for this past week in college football. All right, so let's go forward to our next.
Yvonne had UCLA at USC. Okay, that's interesting. I can see all of those points.
All right. So I'm glad that Yvonne was brought up Oklahoma and Jalen Hurts right now. So I know it's too early, but I think this is interesting, though. So after 3 weeks of college football, man, should Jalen Hurts right now be considered the top favorite as far as the Heisman goes right now?
Okay. I'm fine with Jalen Hurts being the front runner for the Heisman right now. He's dominating. His numbers are better than anybody else's. They're a top-ranked team, and I think he's exceeding expectations so far from anybody. I don't think anybody had him doing this well. I'm totally fine with Jalen Hurts as the front runner right now. He's balling, but we're gonna. I'm not overthinking it too much. We're gonna find out real soon. How he does in big games, and I'm sure he's gonna do well. But what's gonna matter in terms of Heisman as we come down the stretch is your wins. Oklahoma's gonna play Texas in a couple weeks. They've still got interesting games like Iowa State, TCU, Oklahoma State, and potentially Texas again in the Big 12 title game. So when it comes to the Heisman winner, you also have to have the wins, and I think he has it right now, obviously, but I think we'll find out, here in the future, and it's all going to play itself out.
Okay. For me, I know y'all gonna think that I'm being like hard-headed, But no, he's not the Heisman front runner right now. He's just not. It's no knock to him. With 3 games in, they've beaten really nobody. Like Yvonne said, UCLA might not win 4 games. Houston has 2 losses on their resume already this year, and I don't even know who else they beat. I know it was a scrub team. It had to be. I'm not impressed by Oklahoma as far as, when I say not impressed more than some of the other candidates that I would have in front of him right now. And it's no shot to Jalen Hurts. Is he on my short list? Absolutely, he's on my short list as far as Heisman candidates. And you guys know what I'm about to say. I'm not being biased. But Joe Burrow has more passing yards and more passing touchdowns than Jalen Hurts. Now, I get it. Jalen Hurts also runs. Not taking nothing from him. But Joe Burrow at least went on the road and beat Texas. That's one of the best wins in college football right now. And like I said, he has more passing yards and more touchdowns. Tua has more passing yards and I think more passing touchdowns. So for me to say he's clear-cut number 1, now I know he does have rushing touchdowns, and you got to take that into effect. He has the rushing touchdowns, the rushing yards. I get all that. But you have to play somebody first before I can put you up there over the guys that I feel like. Tua, the reason why I have Tua there, because Tua's been doing it for a couple of years now. He was the reason why they won the championship against Georgia 2 years ago. Then last year he was phenomenal from beginning to end until he got hurt. And he would have won the Heisman, I really believe, if he doesn't get hurt, over Kyler Murray. And I picked Kyler Murray to win it last year. So I can't put him over those guys, but he's right there neck and neck with them. But to say he's the clear-cut favorite as of right now, no, I'm not going to do that. I think that those 2 guys are right there with him. And I could even put, like, Travis Etienne up in there because if it's not for him, Clemson really hasn't been, really great on offensive passing the ball, in my opinion. Travis Etienne just looks like a different beast this year. So right now I would say he's in the mix, but he's not the clear-cut favorite.
I agree. He's not the clear-cut favorite. I got him at number 2, though. I think what he's been able to do is really impressive, throwing the ball, running the ball, and he's a different player, like Yvonne said. But I got Tua as the front runner right now. After that national title game last year, people started jumping off the bandwagon with Tua, man. And, right now he got this chip on his shoulder right now where, those doubters right now, man, that were going against him, people thought he was going to struggle. Last week, he threw over 400, and I understand it's against South Carolina, but it is an SEC team. Threw over 400 yards and 5 touchdowns. That's the most by an Alabama quarterback in quite some time. And the last Alabama quarterback to throw as many as he did is, I'm not even going to go there, man, because you know whose name I'm about to mention when you talk about Alabama quarterbacks. And I could spill the stats down your guys' throat when I mention this guy's name, but I'm not going to mention his name because I think you two know who I'm talking about when we talk about Alabama quarterbacks. But Tua, man, I like what he's been able to do, and he definitely has been showing up, and he's balling right now, man. You can't doubt that, but I still want to see him in these huge games right now that Alabama has moving forward. So I think it's going to be really interesting with this Heisman race, man, especially with Tua, Jalen Hurts, Joe Burrow, Jake Fromm, even DeAndre Swift. So I think the Heisman race is going to be really interesting moving forward because there's a lot left to play, and Alabama, they with an easy match once again at home against Southern Miss. So I'm expecting Jalen Hurts to put more monster numbers this upcoming Saturday. All right. Well,
so right now, right? I just want to make sure I'm clarifying. After week 3, right now you got Tua. Yvonne didn't really say. He just said he was like he's okay with him being number 1. I'd actually have Joe Burrow as number 1, and that's not me being biased, y'all. Because I know that's what y'all like to say, you being biased, but I'm really not. Because if you would tell me this preseason, no way I have Joe Burrow at number 1.
Well, I have Hurts 1, Burrow 2, Tua 3. So
okay.
I'm completely fine with that right now. But I'm not sitting here overthinking it. It's only week 3. There's so much more football to play, and there's so many big games. And I think this weekend the spotlight is on Jake Fromm.
Yeah, you're right about that. And that's my Heisman pick prior to the season start.
Yeah, I know one quarterback that ain't on there. Boy, I was right about that. And you know who I'm talking about. He plays for the ACC. With that being said, it's time to, before we go to our picks, we got one more topic left. So, a lot of ranked teams are in action this weekend, and we got some huge top 25 matchups. So, the topic for today is, before we go to our picks, is which ranked team has the most pressure to win this weekend?
Okay, this is the easiest topic of the night, if you ask me. And you can actually go a couple certain ways. I'm sure you guys are going to pick another team that I think has a lot of pressure. But to me, the team with the most pressure in my eyes, it's probably not in terms of the national crowd sees it this way, but I see it this way. The team with the most pressure this weekend is Notre Dame, and it's not even close.
Wow.
Is Notre Dame finally going to win a big game where they are underdogs? Are they finally going to surprise anybody in a big game? Because let's face it, Notre Dame under Brian Kelly is a good program, and I actually like Brian Kelly a lot. I really do. I'm a fan of Brian Kelly. I think he's turned Notre Dame upside down from what they were before. Not that they were too far down, but I think that he's brought them back to the national spotlight of where they need to be. Last year, I wasn't as impressed as everybody else. They beat Michigan and Syracuse as their 2 biggest winners, but yeah, I don't think that was all that. And then they eventually got to the playoff and they got throttled by Clemson. And there's no shame in that because Clemson throttled Alabama as well. They throttled everybody. They went 15-0. But is Notre Dame going to win a big game that nobody expects them to win? Are they going to put us? Are they going to grab us by the throat and say, "Hey, pay attention to us"? Because to be honest, even though they made it to the playoff last year, did anybody think they were really going to beat Clemson? No. Did anybody really think they were going to beat Alabama when they got to the national title game in 2012? In my eyes, no. So this is Notre Dame's chance. And also they lost to Georgia, let's remind everybody, at home 2 years ago. It was a close game. I think it was Jake Fromm's first start, I want to say. But it was a close game. They only beat them by 1, but you were at home, and it was a big game, and you didn't get it done. To me, the pressure is on Notre Dame because if Notre Dame loses like many people expect them to, they're 14 points underdogs, by the way. That's a lot. If they lose, then we're just going to be like, well, that's just Notre Dame. No one really picked them to win. But if they beat Georgia, oh my, are things shaken up? So Notre Dame's got the most pressure. If you ask me, if you ask just regular college football viewers like myself, I don't think they'd say Notre Dame. But to me, Notre Dame's got to prove they can win a big game and put pressure on us to believe in them. So that's the team in my eyes.
Wow. See, I view it different than you. I really do. I view it different than you. Okay, if the question was who has the most to gain, I would be all with you. All 1,000% with you. Who has the most to gain would be Notre Dame if they was to win. But that's not the question. The question is who has the most pressure to win this week. And I'm basically flipping a coin right now, not literally, but in my mind, I'm flipping a coin because it comes down to two teams. I thought for sure you were going to say this when you say who has the most pressure to win this week.
And you're thinking it's Michigan.
I'm thinking it's either Michigan or Georgia, and I'm going to tell y'all why.
Interesting.
I'm torn between the two because, to me, Georgia, in a sense, I'll start with them, they have championship aspirations. If they lose to Notre Dame, my God, I know Notre Dame's ranked 7. I get that. But you can't lose to Notre Dame. You can't. I mean, at the end of the day, you can't lose to Notre Dame. At home, you're at home. If you lose this game, I think, man, I'm not going to say not Georgia out of the playoff race, but this puts a huge damper on Georgia's resume. And that's why I'm kind of leaning more towards Michigan, because if Georgia was to still win the SEC, like let's just say they beat Alabama or LSU in the SEC championship game, if Alabama still ranked 2 or even 1, or LSU's ranked 2 or 1, then they'll be jumped right back into it. So it's not the worst thing that can happen. But for Michigan, I think a loss here and they're done. Even if they was to beat Ohio State, they're done. I think their season is over. If Michigan loses to Wisconsin, it's not even just Michigan's done. Harbaugh has to be a question mark now. Most people felt like, if you ask most people, this team had playoff aspirations at bare minimum. This is the chance. No Urban Meyer in the Big Ten. This is your chance to prove that you and your team is ready for the big stage. I want to say on the NBS panel, majority of the people had Michigan make it to the Final Four. If you lose to Wisconsin this week, I think that he put a fork in them because it's pretty much a wrap from there. As even if they were to beat Ohio State, they still have that loss to Wisconsin. What if Wisconsin beats Ohio State? I mean, they knew how to jump Wisconsin to get in, and I don't see a scenario where they'll jump an SEC team like Alabama or Georgia. If Georgia has one loss and their only loss, no, it's not to Georgia. Let's say whoever will lose, if Alabama has a loss or Georgia has a loss, and it's still the other one, there's no way they're picking Michigan, who lost to Wisconsin, even though it's in September, over a one-loss Alabama or one-loss Georgia team that would lose to the other team out of those two. Because Alabama is every year a powerhouse. There's no shame in losing to them if you're Georgia. And if Georgia was to beat Alabama, you really think that they're going to pick Michigan over Alabama? No way the committee does that. I just don't see it happening. So this is all the pressure on Michigan. Michigan loses this game, it is over. And this may be the end of the hardball era in Michigan. That's how I look at it. Everybody else can lose, and their coach is not going to get fired. They're not going to go separate ways with their coach. If Kirby Smart loses this week, they're not going to get rid of Kirby Smart. They're going to be upset, but they're not going to get him. Harbaugh can lose his job after this year if he loses this game and then lose to Ohio State. So, to me, the most pressure is on Michigan if I had to narrow it down.
Yeah, I agree with that. With Michigan. Michigan has the most pressure this week. They're on the road. They struggled last week against Army, and they were huge favorites in that game. But they got a lot of pressure this week, man. They go to Wisconsin, and, man, they got a rough schedule. You look at their schedule after Wisconsin, okay, they got Rutgers at home. The following week, they're going to play a tough Iowa team. And follow up with that week. They go to Illinois. Illinois is a sleeper team in the Big Ten this year. They got back-to-back games against Penn State and Notre Dame, and they still have to end the season against Ohio State. This team has a lot of pressure this season, man, especially with no Urban Meyer, and people say the Big Ten's theirs. And the last 2 years, man, they had high expectations that people expected them to go to the playoffs, and now they got to go to Camp Randall and play against a tough Wisconsin team. Jonathan Taylor, man, he ain't no joke. He's one of the best running backs in the nation right now, and I think this is a huge game. Michigan versus Wisconsin, and this is a tough game to pick, man. And there's no safe pick with these picks, and I'm not confident with Michigan. I like Michigan for the first game. Shea Patterson was really good, especially the way that they were throwing the ball. But man, Nico Collins and them, and especially Shea Patterson, they gotta step up in this game. If they don't, it's gonna be huge trouble at Camp Randall, and I wouldn't be surprised if Wisconsin jumps on top. So I do have Michigan having the most pressure this week to win.
Okay. That was interesting take somebody in the Notre Dame. That's interesting right there.
All right. So now it's time to actually go to our picks for this past week. This past week it was terrific for me, and true also. And I think I went 1-4 in my picks. Yvonne, he did a little bit better. So as far as the standings goes for this week in college football, True is still in the first place with a 10-6 record. Marlon actually went 4-1 last week in his picks. He's actually tied for second place right now. Marlon, Duke, Antonio, Yvonne both are 7-9, while me and Jasper are at the bottom with a 6-10 record. All right, so let's go to our picks for this week, and we're gonna start off with an interesting game, man. We got number 10 Utah versus USC.
Okay, Keo, you said I'm 7-9 in the standings. I promise, I guarantee I will be over 500 next week. I gotta start picking better. I don't know what the hell is going on. I don't know why Utah is a 4-point favorite by 4, though. I understand it's in the Coliseum, but Utah is gonna blow the brakes off of USC. I'm going 35-10.
Wow. Okay. So I have Utah winning too, and me and Q, I think, talked about this game right now. I think about it. But I got Utah winning this game. I'm going to say Utah's going to win this game, but I don't have a blowout. I think USC is going to put up a fight. I actually think this game is going to be close. But I got Utah too. I think Utah is going to pull away late.
Well, I don't have Utah. I got USC winning this game. I think USC, especially them being at home, we were able to see what they did against Stanford. They beat them convincingly, but they did lose to BYU on the road, which I honestly thought that they should have won that game. But with them being at home, man, I like the way Caden Slovis is playing, and with the receivers, especially with Michael Pittman Jr. I like this game, man. I like this matchup. I feel like this is a trap game for Utah. And I'm not convinced with this Utah team right now, man. And I think they will lose this game in a very close game. So I got USC over Utah. All right, let's go to our next matchup. As Cal finally gets in the top 25, ranked 23, and they travel to Ole Miss.
Okay. Cal is a surprising team so far. They're 3-0. They beat Washington as their best win. I think that was impressive. This is an interesting Pac-12 SEC game. I saw the Mississippi game when they played Memphis. I did have Memphis beating them, but they've got 2 straight wins ever since. Oh man, this is a tough game. This is real tough to pick. I'm gonna go, man. This is a toss-up. This is what I literally call a toss-up. But I'm gonna go with Ole Miss at home off a game winning field goal. I think I'm not impressed by Cal just yet.
So you just got these boys from Ole Miss getting this done, right?
Yep.
Man, I'm with you though. I ain't gonna lie, I've been going back and forth on this one too. Man, bruh. I just want to see one thing real quick, and I'll make my decision. All right. I know I'm taking a little second. I want to make sure I do my homework, my just right here. I'm gonna take yeah, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna go out. Man. Dang.
It is a tough game.
I'm going to Ole Miss.
Okay.
I just think, man, I'm looking at North Texas. You struggle with North Texas. I know you beat Washington because I was going to go Cal, but I just don't know. I'm going to go to Ole Miss. You have to travel across the United States. Yeah, I'm going to go to Ole Miss at home.
Well, Cal versus Ole Miss, man. Cal's defense is very an underrated defense in the Pac-12. There was a lot of talk about their defense and the talent on that side, and people didn't know what to expect before the season started. But they are definitely showing up. Their offense is not normally the offense you're accustomed to seeing when it comes to Cal football, but I like what I see with Cal and this offense, especially with their quarterback Chase Garbers. He's a dual threat. He could pass the ball. He could also throw the ball also, and I just think Ole Miss is going to have a hard time stopping them, man, especially with the running game. And I think they're just going to confuse Ole Miss throughout the game. And Cal, we get these games a lot down here. They like to blitz a lot, man. And I'm pretty sure Cal, the defensive coordinator, they got a lot of blitz packages for Ole Miss. And I think they're going to have a hard time of stopping that. So I got Cal winning in Ole Miss and continue their undefeated season.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, man. So, all right, let's go to our next matchup. Our next matchup, we got an interesting SEC matchup. Kentucky versus Mississippi State. Both teams are 2-1.
Okay. Kentucky's coming off a tough loss against Florida. And to me, that was a tough game. Even though they knocked out Felipe Franks, they still weren't able to get it done. I like Mike Stoops there. I think he's done a really good job. And there's no shame in losing to Florida there. But they were at home, and now they're on the road against Mississippi State. Man, this is a tough one. Mississippi State also coming off a loss against Kansas State. I'm going to go with Kentucky, though. I think Kentucky on the road is still a little better team.
Yeah, I'm definitely going with Kentucky. Who Mississippi State lost to Kansas State last week?
Yep.
Man, hell, I'm definitely not going with Mississippi State. I think Kentucky's a good ball club. I think they are a good ball club. I think they should have beat Florida if we keep it in a buck. I got Kentucky.
With this game, I got you. With this game, I think this game is going to be a toss. It's going to be a toss up. It's going to be up to the defense. And Mississippi State, they got a good offensive line, man. And it's just about if they could get the ball out to those receivers. And but I think this game will be won by the defense. And I like Mississippi. I like Mississippi State to win this game, man. I think Mississippi State wins this game, and they win it at home. All right, so we go to our next game, and we got Tennessee versus Florida.
Oh my God.
I actually don't think this game is as bad as people want to think, just because of the Felipe Franks injury. I think now with Kyle Trask in, you're asking a lot of Florida to adjust. Tennessee finally coming off their first win as they upset Chattanooga, and I'm going to say they upset because they were trash up until that game. But the Tennessee Volunteers are still going to go back to trash as Florida's going to pick up this win in Gainesville.
Okay, so you and I was talking about this. I clearly got Florida. No debate. I'm not even a Florida guy. But I will say this.
I'd rather Tennessee win, too.
Wait, what happened?
I'm more of a Tennessee guy. I'd rather them win, but they're bad.
Yeah. No, but I'm saying I'm not a Florida guy, but I will say this, though. Kyle Trask is better than Felipe Franks. Remember?
Might be true.
I think Kyle Trask, I like the way he plays. He has this chip on his shoulder, it seems like. It's just something about the way he plays. Felipe Franks, to me, didn't have that chip on his shoulder. It was almost like he deserved to be the quarterback. But Trask feels like somebody that, you know what, I've earned everything I got out of life, so I'm not letting nobody take this from me. I like this kid. I really like this kid a lot. I think they're gonna blow out Tennessee. I think Trask is about to do some things in this game that we're gonna start being like, man, Florida might be better than we even thought. So I got Florida in a big, big win.
Yeah, man. I was actually gonna pick Tennessee, but I ain't doing that. I'm way too behind in the picks, and I'll be damned if Truth still stays in first place. So I'm definitely going with Florida. And Trask, I like especially what I was able to see in that Kentucky game, man. I honestly want Kentucky to win until that one guy, the kicker, missed the field goal. But Trask, he led them to 3 touchdown drives, man, and that was really impressive, man. And he definitely led a spark to this team. Getting guys like Van Jefferson. Getting guys like Van Jefferson involved, and I think LaMichael Pirine, they got to get him involved in the game, man. I think he's too good of a talent to not get him the ball. So I got Florida in Gainesville. Oh man, let's go Gators.
This game, man. I like this kid Trask. That's a big dude too, bro. I didn't realize when I was watching, that dude looks huge, bro. I like that kid, bro. Florida jumped up my board now as far as who I like moving forward.
Well, they better enjoy these wins, this win, because their next two games, they're dealing with Auburn, and then they're dealing with LSU back to back. Uh-oh. All right, so, let's go to our next matchup. All right, so these are, now it's time for the top 25 matchups. We saved these for last. All right, so we're going to start off with number 11, Michigan versus number 13, Wisconsin. We were talking about this earlier. How do we have this, guys?
Okay. I'm going with Wisconsin at home. 24-17. 24-17. Look, I'm starting to give up on Michigan and Jim Harbaugh. Every year when you think it's finally their year to win the Big Ten, they disappoint you. Wisconsin has been nothing but flawless so far this year. And sure, Wisconsin's played nobody. They've played South Florida and they've played Central Michigan. However, they haven't allowed a single point this year. Their quarterback, Jack Cohen, has not thrown an interception, and Jonathan Taylor's been a beast. Meanwhile, Michigan is struggling to beat Middle Tennessee State and Army. Are you kidding me? Both of these teams had a bye week, but Wisconsin, this game is in Madison, Wisconsin. Michigan's shown me nothing this year for me to believe they're going to win this game. They've got a new offensive coordinator, but it doesn't seem to be working with Jim Harbaugh. Something's off there, and it's sad because this is Harbaugh's best offensive line and best wide receiving group, and I think his best quarterback so far. This is the best Michigan team he's had, and they're not playing well right now. There's no sign showing to me why I should pick Michigan to win. Zero signs. Unless they did wonders over the bye week, I just don't see it. Wisconsin is too disciplined. They're really good. Their defense is awesome. It's the typical Wisconsin team where they run the ball down your throat and hold you to under 20 points a game. Wisconsin's going to win this game because both teams are coming off a bye. I think it's going to be close, but I've got Wisconsin 24-17. I'll root for Michigan. I like Michigan's program, but bro, they're the new Notre Dame. They let you down in the big games, and they just haven't shown me anything. They're the new Notre Dame, an old storied program that just can't get back to the playoff. And Urban Meyer's not even around anymore. Justin Fields is a freshman. And they look like they're going to stay on top of the Big Ten. And Michigan's shown me nothing to believe in them. And I like the Michigan program, but let's call what it is. Wisconsin by a touchdown.
You know what? I thought for sure I was going to be the only one to pick Wisconsin in this game. Q already knew where I was going because me and Q already talked about this one for sure.
Hell no, I for sure got Wisconsin.
I got Wisconsin, but I will say this: I'm a little worried about Wisconsin only for this factor. Like you said, Yvonne, they haven't been tested yet, and Michigan's going to test them. Michigan will not be scared of them like those other two teams were. Michigan's gonna bring a solid player. It's gonna be physical. I just, like you said a mouthful when you said that. Wisconsin is disciplined enough. And I think that they're more disciplined than Mr. Patterson. I know y'all like Patterson going to Michigan. I didn't love it. I didn't think that he was that disciplined. Going into this season, I was like, man, this dude is not what they hyped him up to be. He was cool, but he's not like that. And I got Wisconsin because I think they're going to catch a couple of turnovers in this one, whether it's interceptions or fumbles. And I think Wisconsin's actually going to pull away late in this game. And I'm going to say Wisconsin wins this game 26-13. They'll win by like almost two touchdowns.
All right. This game, I'm taking Michigan in this game. I think Wisconsin, they're good at their defense is really good. I just feel like that secondary and even their front seven, they haven't been tested yet. As a matter of fact, their whole team hasn't been tested yet because they're going against teams like UCF and Central Michigan, and I understand Michigan have struggled, but I think Michigan's passing game, they're eventually going to get it started. Because the talent over there is just too much with guys like Nico Collins and Tariq Black, and Michigan's run defense, as far as their defensive side, they got a good run defense, man. I just feel like they're gonna stop Jonathan Taylor. They're gonna slow him down, and then they're gonna force Cohen to throw the ball, which that's not accustomed to seeing when you look at that Wisconsin offense, the way they like to run things. And I like Michigan to win this game, man. But I think this game is going to be done by their running game with Charbonnet, and I think Shea Patterson's going to make the throws that counts in this game. I think this is going to be a rough, slug-it-out game, and I think it's going to be a low-scoring game. But I feel like Michigan's going to pull it off in Wisconsin. All right, let's go to our next matchup. We got a huge SEC matchup. We got number 8 Auburn versus number 17 Texas A&M.
Okay, I'm actually very, very excited for this game. I think it's a really good matchup. Texas A&M, I know they're ranked at 17 and Auburn's at 8, but actually Texas A&M is a 3.5-point favorite, believe it or not. I like what I see out of Texas A&M's defense. I don't like their offense. With Auburn, I like what I see overall. I thought the big win against Oregon was huge to start off Bo Nix's career. They took care of business against Tulane and Kent State, just like everybody expected. And this is actually Bo Nix's technically first road game. The Oregon game was neutral site. And Kyle Field, we all know, is one of the toughest places to play in college football. I think this is close. I think this is low scoring. I'm going to go Auburn on the road, 2017 in overtime.
Wow.
Bo Nix, War Eagle.
Yeah, but I know that's a little somewhat biased with him. For everybody out there,
a little bit.
Okay, so for me,
but I like A&M's defense.
I'm going A&M, and I feel pretty good about this. I feel really good about this pick. I think this is gonna be the one where it's gonna give me a dub over everybody. Because I think most people are gonna pick Auburn. But I got A&M for a couple of reasons. I like Mott, Kelly Mott. I think he's gonna be good. Me and Keel talked about this prior to the season starting, and as much as I like my boy from Auburn, the head coach. Oh my God, his name is Gus Malzahn.
Gus Malzahn.
As much as I like him, I trust Jimbo Fisher more. I feel like Jimbo Fisher is a legit, one of the better coaches in the country. Gus is more like a trickster. He puts nice packages together. But I think that what you see from Texas A&M this season so far, A&M, man, I think that they're legit. They actually competed with Clemson. I know that, like I said, I'm not saying that, of course, when we talked about this Clemson versus A&M game, Clemson was up 24, I think 24-3 at the time. But the whole Clemson's offense to 24 points for the entire game, I think says something. I don't think Bo Nix is going to be able to just come in there and do what he wants and Trevor Lawrence couldn't. So I'm going with A&M, especially being home in College Station. I got A&M winning this game. I think that Bo Nix is going to struggle for the first time this season, and I think he's going to throw a couple of picks in this game, and A&M's finally going to get, a signature win this year?
This game is an interesting game, but I just feel like when it comes to Bo Nix, I don't think he's going to be accurate enough in this game.
Keo hates Bo Nix just because he beat Justin Herbert. He's not going to like Bo Nix for the rest of his Auburn career just because of his first win.
All right, give me a second. Let me finish my soliloquy towards this game. I just feel like this their passing game is not going to be consistent. I don't think he's going to throw the ball accurate against this Texas A&M pass rush. This is a decent front seven, man. And Auburn's running game, they haven't showed up. You look at Clemson, that Clemson game, the defense held the Clemson's running back to I think around under 130 yards, man. That's pretty good. So I think Nix is going to struggle. I think he's going to be really great. I think he has to be better than he was in that Oregon game. And I like the way Texas A&M runs this offense with Jimbo Fisher and especially with Kellen Mond over there. And I like Texas A&M to win this game. I feel like they got a lot of weapons over there down in Texas A&M, and I feel like they're going to swing the ball around, and it's going to be more than screen passes and these short 10-yard routes what Oregon did to them. So I got Texas A&M winning in College Station. This is going to be a tough test, a hostile environment, and I don't think Gus Malzahn, Bo Nix, I don't think they could get it done. And we're going to see the real Bo Nix come out on Saturday night. Okay. All right. With that being said, it's time for the main event. We got number 7 versus number 3. We got Notre Dame versus Georgia.
Okay, so I have a confession to make. I had Clemson over Georgia in the national title game. I believe True did too, originally before the season started. And I've changed my pick. Georgia is going to win the national title. Georgia's going to win the national title. I really think so. I think what I've seen so far from Jake Fromm and DeAndre Swift, I really like. Obviously, have they played anybody? No, but they don't need to show me that they've played anybody because we've seen DeAndre Swift and Jake Fromm the 2 years before that. This is their big game. This is their biggest game of the season so far. They're going to be at home against Notre Dame. Then they go to Tennessee. They're going to destroy Tennessee. They've got Florida at home with the backup quarterback. They've got Auburn on the road, A&M at home. So they've got a favorable schedule up until the SEC title game against probably Alabama LSU winner. To me, I think everything is going Georgia's way. And I think that, of course, Notre Dame is not going to win a big game on the road. I'm going to go Georgia 38-20. They're going to cover the 14-point spread. I think the game probably is going to be close at half, but I think Georgia in the second half is going to pull away. And this is the game where everybody's going to be like, oh, yeah, we got to pay attention to Jake Fromm in the Heisman race. I honestly think Georgia is going to win the national title. I think this is Georgia's year. Georgia with Kirby Smart is what Michigan wants to be with Jim Harbaugh, if that makes sense to you guys. where they're chasing that bigger team in that conference, and they've been so close, but now they finally take advantage and beat them. I think that Georgia wins the SEC and they win the national title, and it starts off this weekend in Athens against Notre Dame. I got them 38-20.
Wow. Okay. I'm not mad at you actually picking Georgia to win the national championship now. Because I was going back and forth with that one. I was like, man, I think Georgia's going to win it. I think Clemson's going to win it. And I just kept going back and forth. And I can definitely see so far in the season why you would actually switch your pick to Georgia over Clemson. But I'm not ready to do it yet because I want to see what Georgia does like a game like this week. Will they show up? Will they show out? I do have Georgia win this game, obviously. I think Jake Fromm. I think Georgia's going undefeated this season. I've said it numerous times. I think Jake Fromm is going to win them the MVP, the Heisman, and they're going to be playing for the national championship this year. I mean, of course, Alabama can derail that. The way LSU is playing right now, they can derail that. The SEC championship game will not be no easy task for the Georgia Bulldogs. But I just think that they're going to play with a chip on their shoulder. And if they get LSU or Alabama, they're going to have that chip on their shoulder because those are the two teams that has been a thorn in their side the last couple of years. Alabama has beat them the last, I think, 2 years, and LSU beat them last year. So they're going to be, they're going to be up for those games. But, yeah, I got Georgia beating Notre Dame. I'm not going to say they're going to win by 14 or 18 like Yvonne said, but I do think that they're going to win this game, and I think they'll win by like 10 points. I'll say like 30-20. It'll be a decent game. I think, they'll be up by multiple touchdowns, but I think Notre Dame will get a late touchdown to make it look closer than what it actually was. So I'll go 30-20 Georgia.
Not so fast, my friend.
Oh yes.
Let me.
There's no way you believe that, Keel.
Give me a second. It's my turn now. The spotlight. The spotlight is on the certified hater now. All right, so let me let you guys know something. I honestly think Ian Book is gonna go in Athens, Georgia, in a hostile environment and get the job done, man. He doesn't have the biggest arm. I think the running game is coming along. I think when it comes to Ian Book, he can create when he needs to these big plays and not throw picks, man. Louisville and New Mexico wasn't easy for him, and he was able to get it done. He's thrown over 500, 6 touchdowns, and no interceptions, man. To be honest with you, right now, I think he's one of the most efficient passers in college football right now. And the numbers don't lie. You guys can pull it up and tell me if I'm wrong. But in this game, I think he's going to have to be really razor sharp and perfect in this game against that Georgia secondary. And but one thing about Georgia, they haven't been tested yet. And I think Brian Kelly and Ian Book, they're going to test the secondary, and I think they're going to pick the secondary apart, man. This Georgia football team that you guys have been preaching for the last 2 years, it's not this championship team that you guys are talking about. They're not championship material. I don't think Jake Fromm could lead that team to the promised land, man. Jake Fromm, he's not even better than Aaron Murray. Jake Fromm reminds me of Mike Cox or Bobo that used to play for Georgia. You know who I'm talking about, dude. This guy is not it. He doesn't have the it factor. He doesn't have the clutch gene, and he'll struggle in this big moment game, man. And people like you two and Marlon will finally come back to reality. And you talk about Notre Dame. They got a nice defense, and I think they're gonna give Fromm a hard time in this game, and they're gonna have to make a lot of adjustments in this game. And if you ask me to pick between Notre Dame secondary and Georgia secondary, I'm taking Notre Dame. It's not even close. They haven't yet to allow any touchdown passes. They got 3 picks, man. They're only allowing to complete under 40% passing. This is a different animal when you talk about the Notre Dame defense, man. Come on, man. How dare you guys try to compare Georgia's defense? Georgia's defense ain't that nice, man. I think Georgia is a tad bit overrated if you want me to go there. But I do think this will be a close game. I do have Notre Dame controlling this game, and they will dictate the tempo of this game. With that being said, I got Notre Dame winning, man, 27-17. Go Irish.
Yes.
Yes. This is the
you've lost your mind.
This is the most easiest pick in all these picks that I see right now. There is no way Georgia's gonna win this game. You crazy? You lost your damn mind, man.
Keo, you said the same thing about Texas A&M and Clemson. You got to calm down. You got to calm your hormones in these big games and just see the big picture. Come on, man.
Let's keep it real. Let's keep it real. Georgia hasn't faced any killers, man, and they're dealing with an offensive line like Notre Dame. Come on, man. They're gonna destroy these little boys from Georgia, man.
Keo, give us a score. I just want to know the score real quick.
27-17. Hey, look at this. Notre Dame had 24 sacks last season. It's only 3 games. They already have 12 sacks already, man. You serious? You think Fromm is going to have that type of leadership mentality against the monsters of Notre Dame? They're about to be assassinated, man. Bank on it. Let's go.
Keo's going to be the only one this week to pick Notre Dame. I guarantee it.
Hey, Keo, I got to this, bro. I swear, you don't funny to do that, man. I thought I'm on.
Get off the hype machine, man. Georgia's dealing with some killers right now, man.
Hey, look, I'm not even questioning you, hey, bro. I'm glad you feel that way. Hey, you felt the same way about Oregon. You felt the same way about Texas A&M a couple of weeks ago. Hey, I want you to keep that same energy because it was showing your pick.
Oh, man. Oh, yeah, I am keeping the same energy. You see my energy right now.
Hold on. Let me see it. I know we're about to go to the NFL, and I can't wait because we got to talk about some things in the NFL. But did you just say Georgia hasn't faced any killers like Notre Dame? So Notre Dame is killers? That's what you got?
Yeah, man, they are some killers, man. This offensive line is ridiculous, man. They haven't faced an offensive line like that.
Okay. Hey, bro. Hey, I'm not even mad at you, Keo, bro. Hey, you want to be at the bottom of the barrel? Hey, I'm not even mad at you, bro. Keep thinking like you do it, bro. Hey,
Ian Book, here we come.
Hey, I like Ian Book, but then I be Georgia. We can go on, Keo.
All right. So that sums up our topic. That sums up our topics tonight for college football. Just come back next week to know that I'm right. With that being said, let's go to the NFL, man. So we got a lot to talk about the NFL, and let's start off with our winners and losers this week from the NFL.
Okay, so the NFL, once again, another exciting weekend. The NFL just, man, that's the best sport in the world. It is what it is. I used to love college football, but just because it's been Alabama and Clemson the last few years, now it's the NFL. They just know how to get us interested and always watching. My winner of the week is the NFC North. what a weekend for the NFC North. I think the NFC North is probably showing that they're probably the toughest division in football, definitely in the NFC. I think you could toss it up with the AFC West, in my opinion. But the NFC North, first off, the Lions beat the Chargers. The Bears beat the Broncos, and then you had the best two teams probably in the division so far this year. And the Vikings and Packers meet, and the Packers won a close one at home. So I think the NFC North was the winner here because all of their teams won except the team that lost was to another NFC North team, and it's probably the toughest division in football. That race in the NFC North will be very, very interesting going down the stretch. And a great start by the Packers, by the way. They're beating the Vikings and the Bears, and those are both division games, so that's a huge start for the Packers. My loser of the week, and I don't think there's any other loser like this loser, and it's the clear biggest loser of the weekend, and that is the New Orleans Saints. They lost Drew Brees. They lost Drew Brees. They lost to the Rams. They didn't score a touchdown. The New Orleans Saints are done, and their season is now over for the second straight year, thanks to the Los Angeles Rams. They're the biggest loser. They lost Drew Brees. It's just that simple. Drew Brees, I don't think, missed a game since 2015-16. He's been very durable last few years. But come on, man. Even with Drew Brees, they were lucky to beat Houston last week. I thought their defense was pathetic. This week, he gets hurt. And I don't want to hear the excuses of what Saints fans were telling me this week. Oh, we didn't prepare with Teddy Bridgewater. Okay, neither did the Steelers with Mason Rudolph, and he threw 2 touchdowns. Meanwhile, Teddy Bridgewater, he got in the game pretty early. Brees only threw 5 passes and only had 2 possessions. Bridgewater just can't get this team to score touchdowns. Alvin Kamara has only 2 100-yard rushing games in his career. If you guys remember, the only one last year was the Giants game. Alvin Kamara has to prove to me that he can run through the tackles consistently and not just be a guy that catches out the backfield. I think that the Saints are the biggest loser because I think they're in trouble. Their offense showed me no signs of anything going from here on out with Drew Brees. Like I said, they didn't score a damn point, and I don't like where they're headed without Drew Brees, and they're the loser to me.
Okay. So I'm going to piggyback off of that for right now. So the biggest winner is the NFC South to me. And really, I should just narrow it down to the Buccaneers, who I was high on before the season started, and the Atlanta Falcons, who just beat Philly. Another, I don't know what it is, man. Listen to me, y'all. If you ever see the Eagles versus the Falcons on the docket, and you can only watch one game for the day, you better make sure it's the Eagles and the Falcons. Every game is a nail biter. It seems like every time these dudes play each other, it's just a nail biter to the very, very end. So, but as far as my winners is concerned, it's the Bucks and the Falcons. Because I think the Panthers, they're kind of done because they're saying Cam Newton won't even play this week, most likely. And I don't know, something's going on in Carolina, and something's going on with Cam Newton. I don't know what's going on with that dude. But I'm saying the Buccaneers and the Falcons are the biggest winners because now they have a shot to really put a stranglehold on this division and actually win this division and make it to the playoffs and possibly make some noise in the NFC. Because I agree with Yvonne. And I know people might think I'm crazy because I am a Saints fan, but something told me all off season. I even got laughed at on this show after the Bucs are going to win this division. I was back and forth. I was like, they're going to win. And I was like, no, they're not going to win. They'll make a wild card. But I just, for whatever reason, something told me the Saints was going to fall apart somehow, some way. I didn't think it was going to be like this, but it looks like this is what it's going to be. Because they're my biggest loser. I'm with Yvonne on this. The Saints, but this could be, the Saints are the biggest losers today. But this could turn out to be ever happen to the Saints, it can kind of end up being like the coach or what we thought the coach was going to happen with the coach when they got Andrew Luck. I think that Drew Brees is going to sit the rest of the year. And I think the Saints are going to struggle. And they may not have the first pick in the draft this year, but they're going to get a high draft pick because I think the Dolphins are going to get the first pick in the draft no matter what. The Dolphins are just terrible. But if the Saints have a shot at Tua or Jake Fromm or man, I hate to say it, but Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts, I mean, at the end of the day, like, you see what Kyler Murray's being decent. I know we're going to talk about Baker Mayfield in a second, but Baker Mayfield had a really good rookie season. If you got a shot to replace your quarterback that's getting up there in age, this is the best chance because you have talent. And how are you going to throw this game out there? I got to see more, but Joe Burrow, he's getting coached by Joe Brady, and Brady is a Saints guy. That's basically the Saints offense he's running. So he's gonna know what Sean Payton wants in New Orleans. So I think this could turn out to be a really good thing. And for worst case scenario, let's just say the Saints get the second pick in the draft. You don't want to take Joe Burrow. You don't want to take Jalen Hurts or Jake Fromm because Tua's probably gonna go number one. Could you imagine them having Michael Thomas, Alvin Kamara, and Mr. Judy on the same team? With Drew Brees coming back healthy next season, I'm just saying it turns out to be something really good for the Saints. But unfortunately for today, they are the biggest losers, and I think that the Bucs and the Falcons are the biggest winners as far as this is concerned.
My biggest winner is the Green Bay Packers. You look at the first two matchups, two division matchups. They go in against Chicago in a game that majority people thought they didn't have a chance, and they showed up in that game, man. And then they go back and face a tough Minnesota team who dominated Atlanta, and they showed up once again also, and the defense too, man. This is a decent defense. It's not the same defense that we were used to seeing, and I think the Packers, man. I think they've had the two most impressive wins. If you look at the undefeated teams so far in the NFL, so I got them as my winners. My losers, I'm going with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Especially with everything that's going on right now, they go and lose 28-26 against Seattle. Roethlisberger, unlike Drew Brees, he's out for the season, man. Now you gotta, you gotta depend on this backup, Mason Rudolph now, and James Conner, he has a knee injury issue. Juju Smith, he's not showing you that he's that number one receiver that's supposed to replace Antonio Brown. And where's their number two receiver, man? James Washington, I think he hasn't showed up too. So I think this team is in trouble. And I won't be surprised if they start off the season 0-3. So I got them as my loser right now for this week.
Okay.
All right. So let's go back to the New Orleans Saints, which is our next topic. And I guess Yvonne kind of mentioned it, but he kind of answered the question for us. But so the question is, after Drew Brees' injury, man, are the Saints officially done for the season?
The Saints are DONE, done. It just is what it is. I think that the Saints are one of the best teams in the NFC. With Drew Brees, without Drew Brees, I don't think they're a playoff team. I saw some blasphemy with these Saints fans we talked with this week. They said that they're a playoff team regardless. That's complete BS and bias. There's no way. You tell me Bridgewater starts every game or Taysom Hill and they're going to make the playoffs? No chance. No chance. I bet my last dollar. That's how good Drew Brees is, and that's how much respect I have for him. The Saints are done. I really think they're done. We saw their team this week without Drew Brees. Of course, it was against a tough Rams team, but they didn't score a touchdown. I don't like their secondary to begin with. We saw how they struggled both weeks. They struggled at home against Houston. They torched them. And then you saw Cooper Kupp and company make them look like fools at times. This week they've got Seattle on the road, and we know Seattle's one of the toughest teams to play on the road. I think that is a tough game, even if Drew Brees is playing. So I definitely think Seattle has the advantage there. They play Dallas next week. I think that's an L. They played Tampa, and Tampa's a tough division opponent that knows them, and they just beat Carolina, which I think is going to get Tampa going, and I think Tampa's going to see the light. Hey, this is our opportunity to take advantage of Drew Brees out. They have to play Jacksonville on the road. That's a toss-up without Drew Brees. You got the Chicago Bears on the road. That's an L. Arizona at home's a toss-up. And you got Atlanta if it goes that far without Drew Brees out. And even if they get Drew Brees back, I think they got to win out. And I think that's asking too much at that point. So, to me, I think that the New Orleans Saints are done. I just think it's too much to overcome. And it's not like the rest of their defense is really good to hold them up throughout that time. I don't like this defense whatsoever. And I think that the Saints can say goodbye to this year.
Yeah, I'm not going to go through all that. I just told you I think it's over with the Saints. I think the good thing about the situation is you can finally see if Teddy Bridgewater's that guy. I don't think he's that guy. And if he doesn't win one of these next two games, which I don't think they're going to win, I'm giving my prediction, I guess, already. But if he doesn't win, then you can go to Taysom Hill. And if you don't see nothing out of Taysom Hill in the games after that, then you can say, you know what, we need to draft a quarterback in this draft. We need to get somebody ready for after the years after Drew Brees. So I think it could, like I said, it could turn out to be, a shiny spot. I know it's looking bad right now, but if they can move up and get Tua, if they can, because if you bring Tua with this offense with all the weapons he has, I think it could be a great situation. I just think this is going to turn out to be something really good for the Saints moving forward. But this year, unfortunately, we're talking about a team that possibly could have won the NFC the last 2 years. Last year should have been in the Super Bowl if not for a bad call, but they have bad calls that happen in every sport. Even though it hurts, that's what it is. And all the Super Bowl expectations this year, now it's out the window, and you basically got to look forward to next year. That's why you got to capitalize when you have the chance in all sports, not just football. When you have an opportunity to win a Super Bowl, luck's a part of it, bad calls are a part of it. I mean, you got to take advantage of those situations. So, unfortunately, the Saints season is over, though.
I don't think their season's over. You talk about 6 games. I think they could go 3-3, and I think this team is built to win without Drew Brees. Even though he is a important value to this team. This offense, they did struggle in this game, man, but you can't blame it on the quarterback play. The whole offense struggled in general with all the penalties. There was a lot of pressure put on them as far as you talking about the Rams defense. This is one of the best defenses in the league, and they had a lot of negative runs. So you can't just blame it on the quarterback play without Brees there. But moving forward, Sean Payton, one thing good about Sean Payton is that people will fit and work in his system, in the Sean Payton system. And I'm pretty sure Sean Payton has a game plan. He's going to tweak that offense up, and he's going to use Teddy Bridgewater's strengths. Like guys like Alvin Kamara and Latavius Murray, they're going to be asked to have a heavier workload to carry the ball more. And and to make things easier for Bridgewater and the offense. And I think they're gonna have some. You're gonna see a lot of packages with Taysom Hill mixed in, and but the most important part is that Bridgewater is gonna have to do his part, and I'm pretty obviously he's gonna get his first team offense throughout this whole week. So I expect the Saints to be fine, and I see a lot of winnable games in their schedule. People just look at the Saints and they see Teddy Bridgewater and his history, and they say, hey, this is not a throw-first type of quarterback. This is the type of quarterback that fits into that Sean Payton system, because if you look at the quarterbacks, well, only Drew Brees has been in that system. They throw the ball on a high rate. You look at Teddy Bridgewater, he doesn't throw the ball on a high rate. He's a dual-threat quarterback who likes to throw outside the pocket, run it here and there, and, manage a game with whatever throws that's available to him. But I think Sean Payton will utilize him the right way, and I think they will be fine, man. I say 3-3 at best, and I wouldn't be surprised if they go 4-2 in these next 6 games.
Okay.
All right. So with that being said, we move on to our next topic, and we're talking about Ben Roethlisberger now, man. He's out for the season, and with Roethlisberger out for the season, who are your favorites right now in the AFC North with Ben Roethlisberger out for the season now?
Well, this has officially become my least favorite division in football. It used to be the AFC East. This division sucks. Steelers are done with Big Ben out. The Ravens have a running back playing quarterback. The Bengals, they're just the Bengals, and the Browns suck on offense. So it's really, at this point, I think that you have to go with the Ravens. I think that the Ravens are the favorites. They're playing the best out of those teams. And I think their defense is going to be the reason they win this division now. I had Pittsburgh, even though they didn't look good with Big Ben, I felt like they were going to beat Seattle. I don't like what I'm seeing out of the Browns, and I don't like their schedule going forward. The Ravens at least look good on defense. I think their offense is going to slow down. But I like the run game with Mark Ingram there. And the Bengals, they haven't gotten any better. So I'm going to go with the Ravens. I think they're going to win it from now on out.
Okay. I can understand how you feel about the Ravens. And they possibly could, but I'm going with the Browns. I get everything you're saying. The Browns, to me, their offensive line does not look good. I feel like Baker Mayfield forced this Odell Beckham. There was one play, the interception last night. Nick Chubb was wide open, like nobody around him. But he forced it to Odell Beckham. And he can't tell me he didn't see Nick Chubb because, Odell ran an in route, and literally it was a deep in, and then Chubb ran a quick in right in front of him. Like, you got to throw that ball to Nick Chubb, man. That was a terrible I thought like he was trying to get Odell Beckham his first touchdown. I thought after he got Odell Beckham the first touchdown in his Browns uniform, then everybody would, basically be chill out. And like you said, Yvonne, just try kind of like the Chiefs do. Just find the open man, kind of like the Patriots do. Just hit the open man and, take your shots every now and then with Odell. But for the most part, just find the open man and you're going to be okay. That's what made Baker so great last year. That's what made Baker great at Oklahoma. Just find the open man, bro. You got the talent. Jarvis Landry, like you have a scrub on the other side. Jarvis Landry's a beast. Nick Chubb was beasting yesterday. I know David Njoku went out, and that sucks, but you just got to find the open man. Things are going to open up Odell Beckham. Odell has to understand that, he's not going to get the ball every play in this offense, and everything will work count, but I'm going with the Browns just because I think that they'll figure it out. I think that was a confidence booster from this past week because as bad as the Jets are on offense, defensively, they're solid. They're not a terrible defense, even though in the fourth quarter versus the Bills and then last night they didn't really show it. I do think that the Jets are not that bad on defense. They didn't have CJ Moses, and I get that. But I do think that moving forward, I'm going with the Browns because the Ravens' 2 wins, come on, man. The Miami Dolphins and the Arizona Cardinals, that's your 2 wins, and you barely beat the Cardinals at home. I'm not buying that. And I will give Lamar Jackson this. That throw to Marquise Brown on 3rd and I think 10 or 3rd and 13 or whatever it was, that was big time. Because I was thinking to myself, surely the Cardinals about to get the ball back and at least have a chance to tie this game. And Lamar Jackson made an incredible throw to Marquise Brown. I mean, right over his shoulder, right into his hand. Great throw. If he can keep that up, then possibly, yeah. But I'm going with the Browns to win this division.
Yeah, man, the favorites are the Cleveland Browns, man. It's just too much talent on there. And I think, this wasn't an impressive win against the Jets, with no Sam Darnold playing with, a third-string quarterback. And then on top of that, Quinnen Williams, the Jets' first-round draft pick, wasn't available. Their top free agent signing, C.J. Mosley, wasn't available. But it was good for the Browns, though, man. And I think this is a good thing moving forward. And, it definitely is a confidence booster for them. And I like the Browns moving forward, man. And the Ravens got a tough matchup against the Chiefs this weekend. But moving forward, I like the Browns as the top favorites in the AFC North. All right, so let's go to our next topic. We got 2 more before we get to our picks. So it's been about quarterback lately. So we're going to talk more about quarterbacks. So the Giants decided to name their first-round draft pick Daniel Jones as their starter now, and Eli Manning has been benched. So did the Giants do the right thing by pulling the plug early on Eli?
No. Obviously, Eli hasn't been great. I don't think he's been terrible either. 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, 63% completion percentage. But let's face it, the Giants are terrible. I don't see how Daniel Jones is now going to save the day. I don't think anything's going to change. I think that he's going to play bad, just like Eli played okay at best. Eli's career is pretty much done. And he's had a great career. He's the only guy to ever beat Tom Brady in 2 Super Bowls. And I think he's a Hall of Famer. He lived up to the Giants' draft pick. They got what they wanted essentially out of him. He was one of those guys that was a better player in the postseason, bigger games than he was in the regular season. Daniel Jones, I'm not sold on. I thought that was an awful pick. I went to the draft in Tennessee, and everybody was booing that pick at number 6. It didn't matter if you were a Giants fan, a Bengals fan. It didn't matter. Everybody thought that was an awful pick, and everybody felt like the Giants reached a little bit for Daniel Jones. He had a good preseason, but what does that mean? We're about to find out if it matters at all. I don't think it does. The Giants, they were basically they were the underdogs in the first 2 games against the Cowboys and against the Bills, and of course they lost. They played Tampa in Tampa, and then they played the Washington Redskins the week after. So I think Daniel Jones starts at a good time in terms of his career. He's going to have some games where he can actually win. I think these are winnable games.
But I think it's a little too early. I think they should let him sit at least 6 to 7 games, learn a little more from Eli, and then go in. I think you're putting a little too much pressure and hoping he's going to turn around your season this early, but I don't think that's going to happen. I think what you've seen out of the Giants offense will continue, and I don't think they're going to be that much better whatsoever, if at all.
Okay. I'm going to say they're making the right decision. I felt like the Giants basically, you took him that early. You felt like he was your guy. Let's see. You have Saquon Barkley, who's just a beast. You drafted this guy this early, like I said. Eli Manning's not winning you no games, but Eli is past his prime. It's done. Like I said, they got what they needed out of him. He's done what he's done in his career. Like you said, he beat Tom Brady twice. Nothing but respect for him. But at the end of the day, at some point, you got to move on. This team is not going to the playoffs with or without Eli. Let's see what you have in Daniel Jones. Even if, let's say they don't win no games this year with Daniel Jones. Let's say you win 3 games with Daniel Jones. He's ready for next season. Next year, you can add another playmaker, another piece to that puzzle. And if he shows some light, then you know you got something. If he shows nothing, then you can say, and you don't feel good about this pick at all, then you can say, well, maybe we need to go another quarterback. I doubt that's the case, though. I think they did their due diligently, and I think that they're going to be good with him. I'm not the biggest Daniel Jones guy. I do know that he was coached up at Duke. But I will say this, though. If he takes his bumps in the road this year, I think next year they'll be okay. I do think the Giants will be okay. You move on from Eli Manning, let that era go. It's the Saquon Barkley, Daniel Jones era. So I'm with them making that switch right now.
Well, as regard to anything involving the New York Giants, I honestly don't care. I'm actually enjoying every minute of this with the New York Giants. I'm happy for Eli Manning that he's finally benched. It's about damn time. And I'm glad that Daniel Jones is now going to be set up for failure, man. But with that being said, I do think it is the wrong decision, though, because you look at the matchup. It's a winnable matchup against Tampa Bay because I think Tampa Bay is really atrocious and they're pitiful, and they could be one of the worst teams in the NFL moving forward this season. But you look at who he's throwing to, man. Who is he throwing to? Sterling Shepard's injured. Golden Tate is still suspended. You got Evan Ingram, who's been huge lately, and you can't really blame Eli for those 2 losses, though, man, because obviously they got spanked in the first game by the Cowboys, and it's only 2 games, and I think they're just rushing it, and they're setting this guy up for failure right now. I think he should have just see the first season how things went and learn as he goes. But I think one thing about the Giants is they make a lot of dumb mistakes, especially last season, and the decisions they made are not good for business. And I think this is a really bad move, man. And, dude, I don't like this move at all. And I remembered what the owner or the GM said. He said he hopes Eli Manning stays the starter throughout the rest of the season, and Daniel Jones doesn't play it down. Now, I wonder how he feels about that now. Maybe it was his decision. So, at the end of the day, it is a bad move for the Giants, but I'm happy though, man. I'm good right now. All right, so let's go to our last topic before we get to our picks. So, that's enough about quarterbacks. So we're going to talk about Jalen Ramsey, man, especially that meltdown with head coach Doug Marrone. Now he's requested to be traded. So Jalen Ramsey, now that he's requested to be traded, what's the most ideal destination you see Jalen Ramsey going to if he was to get traded?
Okay, a team I see possibly pulling the trigger is the Oakland Raiders. I could see the Oakland Raiders going to get Jalen Ramsey. I actually would like the fit. I don't think they even like their secondary very much, especially after their safety Abram went down. They need another corner. I think Ramsey is the best pure NFL cornerback in the National Football League currently. It's just, are you willing to put up with his antics? He almost fought Doug Marrone on the sidelines. He said when his contract is up, he's going to ask for every single penny he can get. So it's about finding the ideal fit. He's originally from Nashville. He's expressed an interest in actually playing for the Tennessee Titans. But I don't think that will happen because they spent too much money on the corners already, Malcolm Butler and Logan Ryan. I could see Oakland with the move to Vegas next year. They just lost AB, but were willing to pay him even though they knew some of about his troubles, and they gave him every chance. So that tells me they would give Ramsey every chance. He talks about wanting to win. I think that the Raiders are headed in the right direction. I don't think they're ready to win yet. I think that the Raiders make the most sense.
Okay, Raiders. That's interesting because I never even thought about the Raiders as a true destination. So the best fit for me, man. I mean, dang, but it's the Patriots, but because they're gonna calm him down. He does have this edge to him, and it would kind of humble him over there because he can't do what he wants over there. But I don't think he's gonna be a Patriot. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. So I'm gonna stick away from that. So if Theo wants to go that route, he can. I think a great situation for Jalen Ramsey. Here we go. I already know what to go down when I say this. It's either the Atlanta Falcons or the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I think that's where you should go. I think one of those teams to trade for him. I think that those are two really good scenarios for him. A team that's possibly, he said he wants to win. I think he goes to either one of those teams in the NFC South, and I would actually have them as the favorites to win the South. I know I already have the Bucs right now without Drew Brees as in the South, but if he goes to the Falcons and him and Julio Jones and him and Calvin Ridley are getting at it in practice, he elevates that Falcons defense instantly him alone by himself. So either or Falcons or Bucs, him and Hargraves in the secondary with the linebackers over there that they got. I like that scenario for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He doesn't have to move that far. He went to Florida State. He played in Jacksonville. I know you said Nashville. He traveled a little on down. I'm just saying, and play for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers or go a little bit up and play for the Atlanta Falcons. So that's the two destinations I think that should try to trade for him, and it makes sense moving forward.
I know you mentioned the Raiders, but I'm going to go to the other Bay Area team, and that's the San Francisco 49ers. Right now they're off to a great start. They could possibly be 3-0. And they've been winning, some decent games, but one position that they struggle in is cornerback. Weatherspoon, he looked good, the past two games. You got Richard Sherman. He's not the player that, that was in Seattle. So outside of those guys, man, they don't really have that much depth behind them. And the Niners, they got the money. They definitely got the money to pay Jalen Ramsey, and he's a top tier player on the defensive side, so they could definitely use him. And and adding somebody like Jalen Ramsey, it would definitely fill up that weak spot position for the Niners roster, and I think it definitely could pay off by getting Jalen Ramsey. And I see the Niners at the playoff caliber team, and by adding a star like Jalen Ramsey, man, they could make a better argument for that. And the defense is already nice already, man, with Dee Ford and Bosa over there, and with some veteran leadership over there. And why not add Jalen Ramsey, man? So I think the Niners is a great destination. Other teams out there, Tennessee, the Raiders. I could definitely see Philadelphia, and I wouldn't be surprised if the Chiefs try to take a crack at them too. So yeah, I think those are the most ideal destinations for Jalen Ramsey. All right, man. Let's go to our So with that being said, let's go to our picks. Our picks as far as the standings goes for our picks, it's actually pretty interesting this week for our picks, man. And we got as of right now, Jasper is actually in first place with the picks right now. Yep, I said it. Jasper is actually first in the picks. I'm gonna pull the record up really quick. Jasper is actually 11-3 right now. He's actually in first place, followed by me with a 10-4 record. True and Marlon are actually tied with 9-5. Marlon has actually been doing pretty good with his college and NFL picks for last week, followed by Yvonne and Mike, who's tied with 8-6. Duke is 7-7, and Antonio did the worst last week. I think he went 2-4. No, he went 2-5 last week in his picks. So Antonio's in last place with a 6-8 record. All right, so let's go to our picks for this week, and we're going to start off with our Thursday night game with Tennessee will be facing Jacksonville, and just for the record, everybody's picks are in, and the only person that picked Jacksonville is Mike. Everybody else, Duke, Antonio, Marlon, have decided to roll with the Titans. Jasper also roll with the Titans.
Okay, well, I'm going to roll with the Titans as well. This would be a more interesting matchup if Nick Foles was playing, but he's not. I don't like what I saw of the Titans last week against the Texans. The Jags are the same team they were last year. It is what it is. The Titans are a borderline playoff team, might make it. I think they had a tough loss against the Colts last week. I said the Colts will compete and make things tough for certain teams. Still think Titans are a good team. I'm going to go with Tennessee.
Yeah, I got Tennessee. There's no way I'm picking this with Jalen Ramsey with the way he's acting. No Nick Foles. This is a bad situation there right now. I got Tennessee. I think Tennessee's playing some good football too.
All right. I'm actually going with Jacksonville in this matchup. I think Jacksonville is at home in this game. They held Houston to 13 points, especially, a team that, did pretty well in their first game against the New Orleans Saints. So I got Jacksonville at home, and I think they're going to, answer. I'm pretty sure Ramsey's going to play unless he gets traded. I got Jacksonville winning this game. All right, let's go to our next matchup, and we got the Atlanta Falcons versus the Indianapolis Colts. And according to all these picks that I've received, it looks like everybody's picking the Falcons. Duke, Marlon, Antonio, Jasper, and Mike has all rolled with the Atlanta Falcons.
Okay. I'm going to go with the Falcons as well. This is the Colts' first game at home, but Darius Leonard is questionable with a concussion. I think that's a big loss if he doesn't play. And I just think that the Falcons here are going to take advantage of the Saints and Drew Brees' injury, and I think they see the green light and it's time to go. They played better against the Eagles, and there's nobody on the Colts that can stop Julio. The Colts make it tough, though. I'm going to go Atlanta 24-23.
Yeah, I got Atlanta, man. Atlanta, like I said, bro, they need to trade for Jalen Ramsey. They need a new prime time on defense in that in Atlanta. Jalen Ramsey's good friends with Deion too. So, but all in all, Atlanta's gonna win this game. The coach, they're gonna compete because they're coached up very well by Frank Reich, but Jacoby Brissett's just not gonna get it done for this team. I got the Falcons.
All right, man. I'm going with the Colts in this game. The game is in Indianapolis. The Colts, they've been really competitive the past two games, despite with no Andrew Luck. And I think Atlanta, one thing about them is they're inconsistent, man. They'll win a huge game, then they'll just show you the team that they really are. And I think these are one of the games that you expect Atlanta to win, but they're going to lose. So I got the Colts winning this game. All right, so let's go to our next matchup, and it's going to be this is an interesting matchup. We got the Ravens versus the Chiefs, and everybody has picked the Chiefs to win this game except Mike. Mike is going with the Ravens.
Mike is just going with the Ravens because he's a Raiders fan. He doesn't want to see the Chiefs win. But the Chiefs are going to win the game. I don't care about how Lamar Jackson's doing against Miami and Arizona. Can you get in these type of games? And I just don't think he can. I just think he's fortunate to be in a bad division this year, so you'll see some success. But I'm not a fan of Lamar Jackson. He still has to prove me wrong. Everybody can talk about the throws he's been making. They're wide open receivers. I still have yet to see a throw that I'm like, wow. The Chiefs are just another level. They put up 25 plus like it's nothing. I think it's right now 23 straight games, and that's an NFL record. They're at home as well. Come on now, I got the Chiefs.
I got a new guy that just started working with me. He's a Ravens fan. We actually bet a lunch on this. So yeah, I got the Chiefs easily in this game. I think this is a wake up call for the Ravens, a reality check for them. They're not as good as everybody's hyping it up to be. I got the Chiefs in this one. I think the Chiefs actually win this game by at least 17 points.
Wow, man. Nope, I'm not doing that. I'm picking the Chiefs to win this game. The game is at Kansas City. I like the Chiefs to win this game, and they will win this game convincingly. Just make sure Marquise Brown don't do nothing for fantasy. Woo-hoo.
You must be bad.
All right. All right, let's go to our next game. Our next game, we got this is interesting. We got the Carolina Panthers versus the Arizona Cardinals. And with that being said, Marlon, Antonio, Duke, Mike are all picking Arizona to win this game. Jasper's actually the only one that's picking Carolina in this game.
Wow, that actually surprised me a little bit. Carolina struggled. They've lost 2 games at home. Arizona's lost 2 games, but they're getting better and better. If you watch Arizona, they get better every possession, but they're still not there. I just think that Cam Newton has to play better. He can't play worse than he did. However, they are saying that he's questionable as of right now for this game. So I'm going to make my prediction like this, Keel. Cam Newton plays. I've got Carolina. If he doesn't, I got Arizona. I do think he ends up playing, so I'm going to roll with Carolina for now.
Okay, I actually agree with Yvonne just said at the very end. If Cam plays, then I got Carolina. If he doesn't, then I got Arizona. It's that simple. I don't think he's going to play, so I think Arizona's eventually going to win this game. But if he does, of course I got Carolina.
With or without Cam Newton, I'm going with Arizona to win this game. I think Arizona has been a surprising team, even though they've been losing. Except that Detroit game, which ended up in a tie, they've been in there, man. So you got to give a lot of credit to them with their young coach and their young quarterback. And man, Larry Fitzgerald, man, he's been balling as of late, man. Good thing Tree traded him. But besides that, I got Arizona. All right, all right. Let's go to our next matchup. We got the New Orleans Saints versus the Seattle Seahawks. All right. So with that being said, before as far as everybody's picks goes, everybody is picking the Seahawks except 2 individuals, and that's Duke and Jasper. They're rolling with the Saints. And Drew, I'll let you go last. I'm going with the Saints also, man. I think they're gonna win this game, and I think they're gonna respond really huge in this game in Seattle, in the hostile environment over there with that crowd over there. So I think the Saints gonna win this game in a close game.
Okay, well, Jasper, Keel, and Duke need to be drug tested. I'm going to go with Seattle 27-16. There's no chance they win in Seattle without Brees.
Yeah, I mean, I said it earlier. I got Seattle. I mean, this is not no surprise to me. I think they're going to lose this week. I think they're going to get destroyed next week in New Orleans. I'm already picking my pick. You don't have to ask me that pick next week. Keel, the Cowboys will destroy them.
Yeah, see.
But yeah, I got the Seahawks in Seattle, but yeah, I'll beat Seattle in Seattle. For all my fantasy people out there, Chris Carson is a must start this week.
All right, Trader. All right, let's go to our next matchup, and we got the Houston Texans versus the LA Chargers. And as far as everybody picks goes, Jasper's rolling with the Texans. Big Mike is rolling with the Texans. Marlon is rolling with the Texans. Antonio, well, he's rolling with the Chargers. And, yeah, everybody got the Texans except Antonio.
Okay, very, very interesting game. Honestly, to be honest with y'all, this is the game I'm looking forward to most this weekend. I think this is a great game. The Texans haven't changed. Neither have the Chargers. These two teams are who I thought they were going in, and they're just they don't surprise me whatsoever. I was not surprised the Chargers lost to the Lions. Because that's literally the type of games the Chargers lose. But the Texans, my issue with them is as usual. They don't win the big games. They lost to the Saints right when they could have impressed us. and they barely beat Jacksonville. But that's the type of games they do win. It's the team games we expect them to win. Chargers at home.
Okay, well, I definitely have the Texans. I think we're going to have the Chargers going to the Super Bowl, if I recall. But if you haven't gone to the Super Bowl, the Chargers?
Yes, I think they're missing Derwin James big time right now, but I think when they get him back, the defense will play a little better.
Okay, well, I got the Texans this week. The Texans, they did lose to the State's opening game, but Deshaun Watson played amazing in that game. He put his team in position to win that game. The defense gave it up, but that's another team I didn't mention. They can actually trade for Jalen Ramsey as well. I know they probably won't. The Jaguars probably won't trade him there. I know he has a really good relationship with Deshaun Watson and with DeAndre Hopkins, so that would be a good situation for him to be in. But I don't think they'll trade him there. But yeah, I got the Texans in this one. The Texans are going to beat the Chargers. The Chargers are not that good.
What before you go, Keo, Derwin James came out and said today he wants to play with Jalen Ramsey again like he did at Florida State. I think that would be a great fit if the Chargers were willing to make the move.
That would be a good fit.
All right, let's go. I got the Chargers winning this game, man. I think with this game, the Texans struggled. I like the secondary that the Chargers have, and I think they're going to give those receivers a hard time. And they need to start protecting Deshaun Watson, which I don't think they will. And they've been having a hard time to establish the running game. And Chargers, after that hard pull loss, man, I think they're going to bounce back and get a victory. So I got the Chargers winning this game. All right, the next game is a Sunday night game. We got the Rams and we got the Browns, Sunday night football. So I actually thought this was surprising. Everybody picked the Rams to win this game. Jasper picked the Rams. Marlon picked the Rams. Duke picked the Rams. Mike picked the Rams. Antonio picked the Rams. How you guys got it?
Well, that's because the rest of the panel sees the light. I don't know what you two see with Cleveland. We're about to find out about Cleveland. Like I said, the next 5 games are against undefeated teams. The Rams, the Ravens, the Niners, the Seahawks, and the Patriots. Their schedule is very tough. I don't like the offensive line. I think the play calling is terrible. The defense has played better than the offense. Myles Garrett looks like a beast. However, the Rams, man, on the road, get it done, 27-13.
Okay. So I get what you said about that, but that night they gained their confidence. They're not only going to beat the Rams, they're going to beat the Rams convincingly to me. They're going to
You've lost your mind.
33 points.
You've lost your mind.
The Rams are not that impressive to me. They beat the Saints, but really they beat a team that didn't have their all-pro quarterback. And in the week before, they struggled to beat the Panthers. And I'm not even big on the Panthers. I don't think they're that good. So as bad as the Browns have played, I think it was a confidence builder. I think they got to feed Nick Chubb more. I do, understand what you said about the play calling. I don't have an issue with play calling. I just have an issue with Baker Mayfield's decision making. If he makes the right decisions, this team is going to beat the Rams. And I love the way the Browns play on defense. Myles Garrett is a monster. I hope Jerry Goff's ready for that.
Okay, Keo, before you go, I've got to head out. My pick for the Monday Night Football games is Chicago. The Redskins are terrible. Chicago's defense will be too much. True, you've lost your mind, and I'm signing out.
All right, boss.
All right,
man. All right. I got the Browns in this game, man. They're at home Sunday night. this is a spotlight game for them, and I like their chances, man. I think, and I agree with you, man. I do think they're gonna beat them convincingly. I think they're gonna. I wouldn't be surprised to beat them by at least 13. I got the game around like 34-21. I got the Browns, man, and I think this is gonna be a great matchup, and I got the Browns winning this game. All right, so let us go to our final matchup. We got the Bears and Redskins. So I have to say everybody's pick. So with that being said, Duke, Jasper, Antonio, Mike, and I'm pretty sure I'm not missing any. Duke, Antonio, Mike are and Jasper. They're picking the Bears, but Marlon has decided to go with the Washington Redskins.
Well, Marlon's on an island by himself because I think the Bears have found their mojo. Play defense and run the ball with David Montgomery. I think this is David Montgomery's breakout game. Be ready for the start of Sit-em show on Sunday because I got a great prediction for young DM.
Oh, no. Don't tell me you're going to go there. It better be Allen Robinson. Woo-hoo. All right, with that being said, I got the Bears, man. The Redskins have no chance in this game. They got wide receiver issues. They got running back issues. Trent Williams is not there. I don't know how long Jay Gruden's going to last after the coach. So I got the Bears, man. They're gonna beat down the Redskins. So I got Bears easily. All right, so that actually sums up everybody's picks for tonight. We're done, and we'll see you guys next week as far as who gets the picks right and who got them wrong. And with that being said, it's time to go to our shout-outs. So, shout out really quick. Shout out to, Yvonne for making it. He was delayed a little bit, but thanks for coming on tonight. Shout out to True for holding it down once again. But besides that, continue supporting the show. All the content and shows are on our official YouTube page, NBS Central. And we'll see you guys Sunday morning, man, on the Stardom Sit-em show.
No doubt. Shout out to you guys for coming on. Always fun, always entertaining, and appreciative. Definitely appreciative. But with that being said, this has been Nothing But Sports Show. I am Tracy Sports Junkie, and we out. Peace.